Welcome back to Wallsden. Today in part 5 of checklists, we're going to look at complacency. When checklists become so routine, humans by nature don't follow them. And if you look up any statistics with the FAA or IHST, human error is the number one causes of crashes. So before we get into it, I've pulled 2 videos from YouTube to explain some certain aspects, but before that we do that, I'm going to show a video of me as a crewman running a rappelling operation that had an incident. Not an accident, was an incident. Self-critique: we filed after this incident, we filed a flight safety report, we rechanged the gear, all these kind of things. So here we are. We're doing a rappel, 100 meters, about 250 feet, and we get a bag hang up. So we've now moved from a normal procedure into a boldface. I cannot get a checklist out. I'm wearing a restraint tether that stops me falling from, not out of. I need to sort the problem out. Primarily, I need to tell the pilot what the problem is, because I'm now going to stand on a skid and severely affect his weights and balance. What the problem is, what I'm doing, and is it clear or not, and what does he need to do. So that's the problem cleared. Seconds, but that is a checklist. And then we can proceed. This is the view from the outside. Bag hang up. In aftermath, the guys carry these rucksack styles because they take the rope with them, and in the middle of the jungle they cannot carry, or have found difficult to carry, like the rappel rope duffel bags. So that is an incident, is not necessarily a failure of procedure, but a failure of equipment and how we can shift between the two. And just to show I ain't perfect. After 32 years, things still go wrong. So now we're going to look at a very famous video. This is a failure of normal and boldface. So it's a failure of normal procedure. Normal procedure, this is a committed rescue as opposed to a flyaway. So the helicopter is in a static hover. We've got a PEP bag or Bowen bag, whatever you want to call it, spinning. So normal procedure, you would, if you're hoisting a stretcher patient, you should have the rescue guy sat with them. Very often commented tagline, should have had a tagline. The tagline is actually a long length of a thin rope. It's designed to be attached to the rescue hook, not the stretcher platform, the rescue hook. And then it's held by a loop in the hand of the winchman or winch operator, dope on a rope, because it has a weak link. So if it spins this much, the weak link would snap anyway. But this is a failure of training a normal procedure. And the bold face for this is quite simply pilot, patient spinning, forward 10. So the pilot applies velocity forwards, 10 knots of airspeed, that would stop. Quite simple. This is a failure in training, skill level, and checklist procedures. And now they're getting sued, and quite rightly, in my opinion. So next we have complacency.
Before takeoff, we have our dispatch number, doors are closed, pressure and temperatures are good, warning caution panel is clear, crew checklist.
Seatbelts, equipment, and area are all good. We're in airplane mode and sterile cockpit.
Alright, flight controls on lock friction set as desired. If you flow control, checking the flight gate. It is calling dispatch, then we'll do hover check. Dispatch red flag.
Red flag, dispatch, go ahead.
Alright, reporting with 3 on board, now with 30 before take.
So what was wrong with that? Everyone sat there, visors down, looking cool. So this is a pre-takeoff checklist, and I don't know who these guys are. I just picked it off YouTube. But at the end of the day, like me, if you put stuff on social media, expect to get critiqued. So what are the problems? So the pilot is running through a checklist. If you find the video, he's actually got it in his hand. We've got two guys in the back looking cool, and they follow their checklist that they probably do 50 times a day.
Hey Golf, we have our dispatch number, doors are closed, pressure and temperatures are good, warning caution panel is clear, crew checklist.
Seatbelts, equipment, and area are all good. We're in airplane mode and sterile cockpit.
So pilots reported, T's and P's are good, no caption warning lights, rear crew, doors are closed, sterile cockpit, seatbelts are on. But if you look on the left of the picture, he's not wearing his seatbelt. He's now looking at his friend, realises he's on camera, so I'm going to do it at slow speed. And we're going to put my seatbelt on. So that is a checklist failing, a normal procedure checklist failing. The other one is, they're all looking in. Why is nobody looking out the windows? The pilot's looking forward, he's looking at his display. Guy on the left, you look left and above. Guy on the right, you look right and above. This is a failure through complacency. Apologies to the guys, but you got it wrong. This is where it all goes wrong. How do we rectify that? Either through training. For a personal example, I've closed however many aircraft doors in nearly 16,000 hours. 2 years ago, I didn't close the co-pilot door correctly. Well, I thought I did. I then got back. I reported it, just culture, because it popped open in flight. We shut it, not a problem. But I reported it because it was my error. Extreme ownership, as Jocko says. The chief pilot then sat me on the runway in super hot weather, and I had to open and close the door from the co-pilot seat about 60 times. I've never got it wrong again. So it's look at the training, crew responsibilities. If I'm going to say your seatbelts are done, I'm going to grab hold of it and check it and confirm that it's done. This is when checklists become too routine and we become complacent, because, myself included, we're only human. So we need to try and avoid this. So we've looked at normal, procedures, non-normal, bold-face and emergency checklists, and routine and complacency. The final edition of this 6-part series, I've got a couple of questions people have asked. We're going to look at specifically the emergency shutdown, why that should be different, because a lot of people have flagged that up. And if anyone else has got questions, please post them and I'll put them in the next episode. Thanks very much for your time. Stay safe.